This is CICK 93.9 FM, and we're here to interview Jesse O'Leary. He's a candidate for the upcoming provincial election, and he is running as an independent. So welcome, Jesse.
Thank you.
And as I said earlier, I'm curious now, very much so, what made you decide to do this?
Well, I was visiting my dad in Vancouver a couple months ago, and I heard a man speak over the radio about pro-industry in the sense of coal bed methane and building the pipeline, and he was basically stating that our only way to increase our economy, to boost our economy, and to create jobs would be to invest in the expansion of coal bed methane and such things. And it really got under my skin and motivated me to get involved in this election because of the untruth of the matter. And I would like people to, I guess, be aware that we live in BC, and BC is full of resources. We're exploding with potential. And if we set up the infrastructure to deal with those resources, we could create thousands of jobs, not just 500 long-term jobs or whatever. I'm talking about potentially tens of thousands of jobs, and creating an economic boost for our country through creative different things. For example, the fur trade once founded Canada. Canada's economy back a couple hundred years ago. Everything was based off the fur trade. Nowadays, we hit a deer on the road, we throw the thing in a pit or whatever. Some of it's donated for food or whatever, but we're not using the skin. We don't have the infrastructure set up to deal with the massive amount of the hide that's being produced, not only on our highway systems, but during hunting season and the butchering season for the farmers. And I would like to see us set up in infrastructure like tanneries and such things, so farmers have a number they can call, and somebody in an old pickup truck can come and pick up their raw hides, throw it in there, and take it to the tannery, and then we can start creating value-added products, right? So don't even stop at just creating leather from the rawhide, but go a step further and make moccasins or drums or leather vests, right? And doing this, we're taking something that's worth nothing at one point and creating expensive
jobs and so on, never mind the items that you create.
Yeah, exactly, right? You're creating thousands of jobs, not just limited jobs, and with no risk to the environment while you're doing it. If anything, helping out the environment.
And what about agriculture? We used to do a lot of that, didn't we?
Yeah, well, there's a big movement towards permaculture. I went to a free night at a friend's house who brought in somebody from the Kootenays to talk about permaculture. I have some notes here that I took the other night, and it was just amazing how much of it fit into my my ideas when it comes to no waste and such things. Here, the principles of permaculture, one of them, number 6, was produce no waste. Another one was observe and interact, right? So right now we're not really observing what we have in a sense, because we're have all these industries going, oh, we need this pipeline, oh, we need to expand our mines and such things, and we're not looking at the resources we have. The forestry industry is massive in British Columbia. It's one of our largest industries, and we burn slash piles that contain enough wood to build 2 or 3 houses, not to mention how many pieces of furniture you can make out of those scrap piles of wood, and it's frustrating for me to look at this and say well, how much would it cost to set up a micro factory or a micro mill to collect all the wood from these big lumber mills and mill it into usable boards, so that local people, you could create studios, educational studios, so you give learning opportunities out there for the kids that are interested in learning how to make furniture or such things. And it's we could set up the infrastructure for that for pennies, right? In the 2009 general election, with the area around here, I was doing a little bit of research, and the NDP spent $40,000 on their campaign. The Liberals spent $80,000. That's almost double. That's $120,000 together, right? And that's just one district of BC. We have 85 districts or so. and each one was spending relatively, give or take, about the same amount. So that's like $10 million if you do the math. $10 million spent on making signs and creating advertisements and such things to promote themselves to get elected. And it's just mind-boggling how much infrastructure we could have created with $10 million. We could be creating the infrastructure to deal with all of our rawhide, all of our wood scraps, and be creating industries like a BC IKEA. Why are we importing stuff from Sweden or wherever IKEA is founded out of? It's we have more than enough resources that we're just burning today to create thousands of jobs. And
I'm sure we have creative people to create furniture.
Yeah.
Ideas.
Well, and I live in Hazleton, and I recently went and knocked on a furniture maker's door in 2 Mile just because I heard that he made furniture, and I was just went in there and I started talking. I have background. I went to school for video game design and modeling for animation and games, so I guess media video editing and such things. Photoshop work. So I went in there and I just started talking to him, and I'm like, yeah, I would like to help promote you, right? It's we went and talked about his furniture and different things, and because I would like to see an outlet, right? We have so much of this material right now, but we don't have the in-between of getting that material into a usable form so that a furniture maker could basically make his business on our scraps, right? I would like to create the infrastructure to I guess transition that material from kind of just a wood pile that's being burnt to good boards that could be used for furniture creation.
There's a fellow here in town who takes rubber from tires and makes those grippers for in the wintertime. Now there's a good reuse of something like that.
Yeah.
And he sells them everywhere. Yeah, so
yeah.
It's a good idea. Now, what made you decide, though, to run as an independent? Was there no particular party that you feel close to, or that?
Well, the Green Party was kind of on my mind, but Roger Banham, actually, I dropped by. I'm a friend of his. We met maybe about 6 months or so. And when I got back from, I went and checked out the Venus Project. That's a different story. But anyways, and I stopped by and said hi, and he told me that I should go pick up my nomination booklet and go sign up and everything. So he kind of gave me the kick in the butt I needed to get into the running, right?
Yeah.
And it was kind of a hassle to get all the paperwork together, and I had to bug my grandma for a $250 donation so I could be eligible to run or whatever. But, I don't know what to say.
Are there any parties that kind of have similar ideas to what you're thinking of, or?
To be honest, I haven't really looked too far into them. I guess I know the Green Party is, talking about helping the environment out in many different ways, but I'm strictly focused on mainly resource management, right? We have so much here, and I would like to see us setting up infrastructure to deal with that and creating jobs through that. And like I said, with this guy talking on the radio about the only thing we can do to make a economic boost is all these destructive things for the environment. I would like to see us realize that that's just completely untrue, and we can boost our economy, create thousands of jobs without having any negative impacts on the environment.
The potential for negative impact with a pipeline running through our area.
Yeah, it's just insane people declaring insane things.
Yeah.
And
what would be, if you did get elected, what would be some of your focus then?
Well, first of all, I would like to figure out with the lumber industry how people are getting tax write-offs, because that was one thing I realized is that the reason why a lot of this wood isn't being utilized is because each step of authority that you go up will say, oh no, we can't do that because we get a tax write-off if we burn all this wood instead, right? So finding out how to change that law, right? Like, these people shouldn't be getting money in their pocket for doing something destructive. They should be getting penalized for it, or at least nothing at all, right? So then the motive to
reuse.
The motive to reuse things is a lot higher, right? Like, they should be getting maybe like tax write-offs for finding or helping organizations to deal with their wood, right?
Mm-hmm.
If anybody's played Tetris, you know that things, can compact a lot better if you organize them, right? Like, so if they drop their wood in piles, like neat piles, so that people could come and pick them up and take them away, it would be a lot more space around the lumber mill instead of just throwing it in a big massive heap, right? And they should be getting tax write-offs for saying, hey, look, we're not burning any of these logs that are just
What do you think if you do not get elected during this provincial election? Would you think about maybe running for the local government, the municipal government elections that will be coming up in another year or so? Like Hazelton or...
Well, to be honest, I don't really have any expectations in winning this election, considering that my finances will probably not allow me to get enough promotion out there for myself. When I'm running against people that can spend tens of thousands of dollars on promoting their name. So I don't have any expectations on winning, but I would like to use this as sort of like a platform to bring these ideas to life, right? Like, get people thinking, like, whoa, why don't we have local tanneries? Why don't we have educational furniture shops that kids can come and learn to do things, right? Like, there's so many resources we have, right? Like the train tracks are another one. We just have tons and tons of steel that are, is just rusting away, right? And we're not using it. And apparently you can even get fined for taking, this junk off the tracks. And it's like, why are there laws stopping us from using what should be free, if not, it should be like organized by the government and made into things, right? Yeah. So I don't know, I guess I would like to use this as, just a way to connect with people, right? Because I'm sure I've heard there was like a drop-off box where people could throw their hides in somewhere around Smithers, and one of the native bands would take it away, and it's like, I heard of it, but I don't know which band it was, I don't know who was doing it, I don't know anything like that, but...
There used to be a taxidermist, and I don't know if he's still here, up at that... Adam's Igloo, right?
Yeah, I tried to stop in there the other day, actually, and the door was locked, and it said it was open from 8 to 8, 7 days a week, but...
Not yet, maybe. Not until tourist season or whatever starts, maybe. I don't know.
Perhaps.
I've been in there once, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
I was pretty excited to get in there. But...
Yeah, if you get a chance, for sure, stop in there.
Yeah, and, like, talking to people like that would give me a greater, I guess...
an idea.
A view of
what's
like,
involved.
what we could do, right? Like,
yeah, I know there is a lady, I believe in Morristown, or possibly Hazelton, who still does the old time craft of curing and preparing hide.
Yeah.
And a lady I know went there to learn how to do that. So yeah, it's certainly there, but it's just not well thought of or well.
And to do it on a large scale without having like the infrastructure, like a tannery set up, would be like it wouldn't make any sense, right?
It would be labor intensive.
Well, exactly, right, and not very much money. It'd be like sweatshop, like and that's kind of the reason why, like. We export our jobs to China and such things is because they'll do it for a lot less than we'll do it, kind of thing. But it still doesn't make sense to me that we can buy a T-shirt in Walmart for $1 that is shipped across the world and manufactured on the other side of the planet, and we can buy that for $1, and it's like it's just it doesn't make sense. Our system that we're living in today is just it's not making any sense to me, and
so you feel it's time to step up.
Yeah, it's time to get up to the batter's plate.
Well, you never know what this will bring, for you. You've got some good ideas, and you certainly sound, what would you say, positive.
Well, I'm optimistic for our future. I think we have a lot of potential, especially in this part of the world. Like BC is like I said, it's ready to explode with potential.
Mm-hmm.
And if we just got our act together and started
You'd like to be part of it.
Yeah, exactly. I would love to be part of it.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much for your interview. And
thank you for having me.
We'll see you Wednesday at the All Candidates Forum.
Yes, you will.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.